How do firefighters put out fires? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Okay, I know a lot of families listen to this show in the car, so I just want to let you know I'm usually very careful not to play too many car sounds on this show. I don't want to confuse anybody by having car sounds coming out of your speakers that you might think are actually coming from outside of your car. So if you are in your car right now, to whoever is driving, this is not a real fire truck on the road that you're about to hear right now, okay? All right, now that I've said that, do you know what this sound is? I guess I gave it away, didn't I? Yep, it's a fire truck. You know, I am amazed by firefighters. These are people whose whole job it is to keep people safe when things catch on fire. Have you ever driven past a fire station? I've always wondered what they do in there. I guess they just have to wait. Then when they get that call, it's go time. I was thinking about firefighters and fire trucks today because I got an email from a curious kid named Bodie. He wondered, how do firefighters put out fires? Oh, and I got another email from a curious kid named Charlie. Charlie wondered, how do fire trucks work? Fires need three things to keep burning. Do you know what those three things are? We call them the fire triangle. Here are the three things. They need heat, they need fuel, and they need oxygen. If firefighters can take away even one of those three things, the fire will stop. It has to have all three of those things. Now, when you think about firefighters and fire engines, what's the main thing you think about when it comes to how they stop a fire? Right, water. But that's only one way that firefighters fight fires. There are other ways too, but let's talk about water first. The reason that firefighters use water is because water is very good at removing heat. And heat is one of the corners of the fire triangle. If you can remove heat, you can stop a fire. That's why water works so well. It removes the heat. When water hits something that is burning, it soaks it and cools it down. If the temperature drops low enough, the fire cannot keep going. But water is not always the best choice. See, spraying water on certain things can be very dangerous. Some fires involve things like gasoline. Oh, and what's something you definitely don't want to put water on? Yeah, electricity. That would get really dangerous really fast. This is why firefighters use foam and powder and special gases. Firefighting foam spreads out over the fire and blocks oxygen from reaching it. Oxygen is one of the corners of the fire triangle. Without oxygen, the fire can't breathe, and it goes out. Now, firefighters also remove fuel when they can too. For example, in a forest fire, the trees can act as fuel. So they may cut down trees or clear plants that are ahead of the fire, like in the direction that the fire is heading. This creates a gap with nothing to burn, so the fire can't keep moving forward. In a building, firefighters may pull burning furniture out to stop the fire from spreading. So when firefighters get to the scene, they may use one or more methods to control the fire. They use their experience, plus science, and definitely a lot of strength to get those flames under control. Now, let's talk about the trucks they use, because you might not know this, but there are actually two different kinds of fire vehicles. Sometimes you hear the words fire engine, and sometimes it's fire truck. Did you know that those are actually two different things? I didn't know that. Here's the difference. A fire engine usually carries water and has a pump and hoses. When you think of a fire truck, what you really are probably thinking about is a fire engine. This is the one that they use all the hoses and they shoot the water out of it. They can also use this vehicle to shoot the foam directly onto the fire as well. And then a fire truck often carries ladders and rescue equipment instead of large amounts of water. Fire trucks help firefighters reach high places or, break through walls or get people out. And many emergencies need both vehicles, the engine and the truck. Sometimes you've got to get people out and stop a fire. And firefighters train a lot before they ever fight a real fire. They have to practice and practice moving quickly and wearing all that heavy gear. Firefighters often carry 70 to 90 pounds of gear when they're fully suited up. That means they need a lot of strength. And they also have to practice working as a team and following careful steps to stay safe. When they're in an emergency situation, they need to be able to work together and communicate well. So when firefighters put out fires, they're using knowledge, tools, teamwork, experience, and science to remove at least one of the three parts of the fire triangle. Do you remember what the three things are? Heat, fuel, and oxygen. That is how they stop fires and keep people safe. All right, let's have a quick quiz. What are the three things a fire needs to keep burning? Yeah, we just said it a second ago. Heat, fuel, and oxygen, the fire triangle. What does water mostly remove from a fire? It removes the heat. And what does firefighting foam block from reaching the fire? It stops the fire from receiving oxygen. Let's play true or false. True or false? Fires can burn without oxygen. False. They have to have oxygen to continue. True or false? Fire trucks and fire engines are exactly the same. That is false. Fire engines usually stop the fires, and fire trucks help reach high places and get people out of the fires. True or false? Firefighters train before fighting real fires. That is true. Would you rather be the firefighter who sprays the hose on a fire or the firefighter who climbs the ladder to help rescue people? Both of those jobs sound very exciting. I think I would rather be the one spraying the hose on the fire. I think there are different kinds of people for different jobs, and I just have a feeling that if I were a firefighter, that would be the job that worked best for me, to be the one trying to stop that fire. All right, let's play a few rounds of What Am I? What am I? I am one corner of the fire triangle. Fires cannot burn without me. And I am in the air around you. What am I? I am oxygen. All right, here's another one. What am I? I am sprayed instead of water. I spread out and cover fires. And I block air from reaching flames. What am I? I am firefighting foam. Okay, one more. What am I? I help firefighters reach. I'm very tall, and I am often on top of a fire truck. What am I? I am a ladder. If you're in the car listening to this episode right now, take a look around and see if you see any fire trucks or fire engines. Usually you hear them before you see them, right? That way you can get out of the way quickly because it's very important that fire trucks and fire engines get to the place they're trying to get very quickly. And now you know some of the amazing things firefighters have to do to fight fires. I am always amazed by them and very grateful for their service. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got a few birthdays today. It's Caroline's birthday. Caroline is from South Carolina, and Caroline is turning 7. Happy birthday, Caroline. Declan is from Massachusetts, and Declan is turning 4. Happy birthday, Declan. And Eleanor is from Ontario, Canada, and Eleanor is just turning 1 year old. Happy birthday, Eleanor. To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kids want their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.